To this day.
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 What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some more news concerning Deontay Wilder tell-all with his relationship that ran south with Telly Swift. And we've done Telly Swift's perspective. Now it's time to, according to my source, I mean a powerful source. If you guys knew who this was, you guys would be like, damn, really? And I'm saying really, okay? Now it's time to show Deontay Wilder's side, perspective, and the things that they talked about. Now this, funny, Telly Swift's, in her defense, you guys, it's, you can check that out. Now this is Deontay Wilder's. And I will say this, according to my source, Deontay Wilder was still legally married when he met Telly Swift. Upon meeting Telly Swift, at first, Telly Swift, or Tellis, whatever she wants to call herself, she wasn't interested in Deontay Wilder when they first met. She met him, and when she met him, she had just had surgery, and he met her at the airport. Okay, he met her at the airport, and according to the source, she really wasn't interested until she found out that he was a prize fighter. Then they started talking. And then shortly after, Deontay Wilder's child's mom used to handle all the shirts, used to handle, the purchases. She used to handle the money for the merchandise for Deontay Wilder. And he was still legally married to someone else. And according to the source, she really didn't know who he was and really didn't care who he was. And shortly after, when she found out about who he was, they were all of a sudden in hotel rooms and doing what they were doing together. Okay? Just, that's what I was told. All right? And also, to think that a person that knew this guy was married, that knew he had children and things like that, for her to accept that, you have to look at her some type of way. Because a woman that knows that somebody's married, I know a lot of women, okay, a lot of women. And based on their life and how they view relationships and the things that they do, they don't fold or make decisions based off someone's status unless it benefited them. In Telly's case, this benefited her. And I want to make something known that 50 Cent in 2018 shared some information that Jarrell Miller shared with him about Telly Swift. Now, the strange thing about this is he said he was with her first. That came out at that time. Now, the crazy thing is, if Telly Swift was with Jarrell Miller, you'd think, well, what does Jarrell Miller really have in common with Deontay Wilder? The only thing that they have in common is that they're both boxers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they don't have anything else in common. They don't look the same. They're not built the same. One's tall, one's shorter. One's thick, one's thin, you know. And if you look at Jarrell Miller, you think, oh, well, she wouldn't deal with a guy like that. You have to also remember, Jarrell Miller is 300 pounds now. He wasn't 300 pounds 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. And then if he claims that he was with her at that particular time, she wasn't dating garbage man or cable guys. She wasn't doing that. Doctors, law. She wanted a celebrity. Okay? She wanted a celebrity. She didn't care about all that stuff. And then come to find out, like we picked back on Tay Jones' podcast, that she was caught cheating. Okay, last year. So she was caught cheating last year. All right. So here's the deal. That's when things kind of went south, or they got into it. Okay, they were into it at that time because supposedly when Wilder was looking at surveillance cameras, he was doing that shit for a reason. Because at some point, Taylor Swift found herself allegedly seeing somebody else. And this is based on the source. Now, I'll tell you this. Obviously, they had worked something out last year because Taylor Swift was with this man in December in the Days of Reckoning. Now, this is supposed to happen in April or May of last year. So a little bit over a year ago when Deontay caught her cheating. Now, you can say, oh, you're lying. No, well, if I'm lying, Tay's lying, and then that means Deontay's lying too. This is where it comes from. It ain't far-fetched down the grapevine, right? So I thought of the California raisins. But I think that a lot of times when we have this type of situation, when a person, again, starts getting defensive, when a person starts complaining about what you can do and what you can't do in their life as far as looking or probing or, things of that nature, chances are they got something going. And when you're dealing with someone that was willing to go through suffocation, pillow suffocation, near death, choking on several occasions, spitting in your face, forced sex, what else? If you can go through all that and you're still willing to put up with that shit based on a certain event, you kind of got to draw your own conclusion. Because I don't think it's a coincidence for him to think that way. I don't think. And Wilder, according to sources, my source and Tay Jones, Wilder was like, man, I didn't do any of that. Now, here's the thing. If Deontay Wilder didn't do any of that and she's merely doing what the woman that said Mike Tyson did what he did to her in that hotel room back in 1990? If that's the case, she's a horrible individual. She's a gold-digging slut. If that's the case. I'm not holding anything back on that. And then she would rather, and see, he's not charged with anything. Okay, so the only thing that I can see Taylor Swift getting over on is to build a case against a man, and she wants, first of all, she wants that damn child support, but second of all, she wants a package. She wants a package from Deontay Wilder. And see, if you look really deeper into the issue, if he called her talking about him to beat you up and do this and do that to you, well, that's terrible too. Okay, with Wilder, if he said he's going to do all this and do all that, and then she filed because of that, I just wonder what reason did he have to talk to her after he got his ass whooped when he was with somebody else? That's what I want to know. Okay, And before I forget, okay, according to the source, my source told me that Telly Swift allegedly stole money from Deontay Wilder. There was money missing from his accounts that she had access to. And they fought over that as well. So money was a subject of argument a lot of the times. Okay. Now, this is what I was told, allegedly. Okay. So money is somewhat of a factor in this. You know what I mean? But Taylor Swift doing that at this point, it was very tasteless. She can blame it on, hey, well, this is what he said. Okay, well, according to you, he's already done more than he said. Only thing that we know is what you said that he's done. So if you say that he's done something, now you're saying, I've done this because he said he was going to do something instead of actually doing something. That raises eyebrows. Because it's like, well, wait a minute. If you're accustomed to this guy doing what he done, can you fill us in on how he did that? Did he just all of a sudden do it? Did he walk up to you and just start choking the shit out of you? What did he really do to you? Or did he say he was going to do it and then therefore did it? And in that case, I could understand Taylor Swift because now she's saying, well, no, he is giving me fair warnings like, girl, I'm going to kill you when I get you. That type of stuff, you know what I mean? That damn Mississippi burning, treacherous Alabama Southern, talk. You know what I mean? Those threats, I'm going to kill you when I see you. Then I'm going to stretch your jeans. Stuff like that, seriously. But if that's not the case, she's lying. And she's setting herself up to go to court like it's a temporary restraining order. And she's setting herself up to go to court to get this man's money because he's a prize fighter. Prize fighters get paid differently. And she knew, well, look, this is a perfect time to file this shit because this man just got paid. He just got paid however amount of money he got from Zili Zhang, and it's in the M's. He's going to clear M's, even after taxes, even after the training court for paying Malik Scott and all them fucking guys. You know what I mean? Sanction, does he have to pay sanctioning bodies? No, I don't know. I don't think he has to pay sanctioning bodies. But he has to pay a certain amount of things, and he still walks away with millions. And then if that's the case with Taylor Swift, she knew that shit, and she wanted to have a piece of it. I mean, look at it this way. When would you file for something if you wanted something? Way after they got paid or right before they get paid? Yeah, you would do it now. She put that damn bid in based on Deontay Wilder, because according to him, he wanted to marry her. Now, I do ask, and this is for both parties, if that was that damn true, why the hell they ain't get married already? Okay? And I think Taylor Swift knew, and she knew what it was, and I think she needs to be held accountable for her decision-making. See, I've had sources unlike this, and I won't say any names, but what I heard about, or what I was told about Tellis, okay, what I was told about her is that she comes from good stock, she comes from good people, she comes from a good family. You know what I mean? And there you go. However, you have to look at her decision making though, because regardless of what I heard about who she is and her character, and she's having surgeries and stuff like that. Obviously, she's having surgeries because she's somewhat, self-absorbed. And self-absorbed people that have surgeries and stuff like that, they're worried about portraying a certain image. Why would you necessarily want to do that? I know a lot of people do that, but then people do that also to for business purposes. They want to look a certain way, and she's freaking gorgeous. But you can tell, like the surgery that she had, it had to be more than likely to lure men of value, high value in. And if she knew this man was married and that didn't bother her, that meant she wasn't thinking about his morals. She was thinking about his damn money. You know what I mean? Just like she could possibly be thinking about this man's money in this case. Okay? That's why she did what she did, because she was like, oh, I need a case to build against a man that I know that will probably never fight again. Bars. Okay? That's probably more than likely what she's doing that for. And a lot of people have caught on. Wilder has lost the last 4 of his 5 fights. And this is a high stake fight. So it's high stake money. You know what I mean? And I know I've heard people say, well, she probably did it because she's seen Deontay's new girlfriend. That could be the case. But I'm going to leave you guys with this, because I know this is getting a little lengthy, about Taylor Swift and Deontay Wilder. This is the 3rd volume, right? This is my conclusion and my synopsis of this whole thing. I think they're all right. I think you got her side, his side, and then the truth. Well, I think if you take what she says and then you take what he says versus what she claimed to do, the problem about that shit is, how are you going to prove that he did any of those things, as fair as you are, and you never took any evidence? You remember when Dante's Boxing Nation, Aki, and all those motherfuckers used to talk about what Deontay Wilder had, Tay Jones too, what they had as evidence against Tyson Fury, but nobody could produce shit. So you're telling us a pantomime lie about your show and tell. You're telling me everything, but you're showing me nothing. That's a pantomime. So they used that lie for a long time. So saying that to say this about Taylor Swift, if Taylor Swift was serious about prosecuting this man and making sure he comes to justice after 4 or 5 years, it's pretty dumb, for one. But then for two, if you don't even have any proof, any strangulations, any abrasions, lacerations, if you don't have that as evidence, who the hell's going to believe that? You know what I mean? That's the point. Now, if Wilder was sitting there choking that girl out and doing this and doing that, okay, that's bad. But then why would you want to choke and strangle your girl? That means that's something that he got accustomed to doing. And we've already discussed Wilder. Where I'm getting at is, you have 2 different guys or 2 different people that probably, yeah, I think she cheated on him. I think he beat her ass too. I think because she found out she was cheating, because maybe her pattern changed, she got a little sloppy and she didn't expect him to see and view and look through and look through that house, investigate. You know, she calls it spying. No, he's just, he's just looking. You know, so I think all this shit happened. I think Taylor Swift was dealing with somebody that she already knew, that she loved, that she actually loved, And I think that Deontay Wilder is a violent person. And I think he probably did do those things to her. I think they had one shitty stitch up of a relationship. And I think they just pretended like it wasn't what it was. And I'm glad that we've seen what it is. Listen, people, assume it all when you're dealing with all this stuff. You know what I mean? She probably was out whoring around, still rocking a $500,000 ring. That Wilder, why the hell would you spend $500,000 on a ring? You couldn't even wear it half the time because you'd have to put it in the damn safe deposit box. But those things, though, I mean, I feel bad for Wilder, because if any of the things that he said was true, like I never did this to this girl and she, I don't know why she did that. I feel bad for him for that, because both of these guys are saying something that they really can't prove. It's just really he say and she say, right? Hearsay. And he said, she said type situation. I hope he doesn't do anything stupid. I hope that Taylor Swift and her daughter's fine and safe because what she just did, and if that was a lie, don't you think that would kind of create a whole different outcome for her? Think about it. She's afraid on how he spoke to her before coming back to the States. Therefore, she planted a restraining order against him. And that probably put him in a real dark place, especially if he hasn't done anything. If she's done that and he hasn't done anything, do you understand what kind of rage can be built over that because of that? I mean, a lot. When someone told on you, told a bald-faced lie on you and said you did all this and, did all that. And then, all of a sudden you're running to the courts talking about a restraining order. Again, we weren't behind closed doors, but a person very close to all of them was. And this is what they're telling me about him. Everywhere from Marcello's to Deontay Wilder, to his father, to his mother, to a lot of people. And I say this in passing, in closing. I think that was her way of leaving legally. I wish her well. I wish Deontay Wilder well. I really feel bad for him because she ain't taking no damn punches. She's going to court because she wants some legal shit to happen to make sure her and her daughter's fine for X amount of time. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of this third and final volume of Deontay Wilder, the source between Taylor Swift and other things that's going on in Wilder's life. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.